Have you ever thought about whether apparently distinct old philosophies and faiths could include deeper truths than we now know? Imagine, for a moment, a Stoic philosopher from ancient Rome, seated over a cup of tea, a devoted Muslim from the golden age of Islam. What genuinely perceptive conversations might they have? Today we are delving into the fascinating confluence of Islam and Stoicism. Separating their shared wisdom from secret linkages, one could easily believe that the teachings of Islam and Stoicism are two different worlds with different values and approaches in an age when traditional knowledge sometimes seems far from modern living. But what if I told you, under closer examination, these two customs had rather remarkable resemblance? Join me on a journey across time and culture as we explore how Stoicism and Islam, albeit having different foundations, come to understand virtue, resilience, and the human predicament. The fundamentals of Stoicism. Let us first think about Stoicism. Zeno of Citium founded Athens approximately 300 BCE, and Stoicism evolved as a way of life intended to promote inner peace and reason. Stoics maintained that since virtue is the highest good and living in line with nature and reason would bring about real pleasure, external events to them are beyond our control. So our focus should be on our response to these circumstances. Think of Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher who rose from slavery to teach with great respect, emphasizing our own attitudes and conduct. His life was proof of the Stoic idea of learning to accept what we cannot change. Stoic philosophy began in this acceptance of fate mixed with a commitment to virtue, the Islamic center teachings. Now let us turn to Islam, a faith born in the 7th century CE, when the Prophet Muhammad got revelations of the Quran at Mecca by means of the obedience to Allah. Islam, which means surrender or submission in Arabic, concentrates on leading a life of justice and morality. Islam holds that everyone has responsibilities to behave with honesty, compassion, and humility. The 5 pillars of Islam: Shahada, faith; Salah, prayer; Zakat, charity; Psalm, fasting; and Hajj, pilgrimage, form essential lessons. These exercises are aimed to create spiritual development, community, and a feeling of direction. Imagine the life of the Prophet Muhammad, who continued in his purpose of disseminating the Islamic message despite immense hurdles and resistance. Stoicism's ideals reflect his patience, fortitude, and relentless dedication to his convictions. Common ground, characterism, and resilience. Though at first glance in the realm of philosophy and religion, Stoicism and Islam seem to be remote cousins, their concepts cross pretty profoundly. Islam and Stoicism underline the necessity of virtue and endurance. Strictly speaking, apatheia is the state of not being swayed by outside events, that is, of essentially maintaining emotional stability independent of what happens. Islam stresses also as basic traits sabr, patience, and tawakkul, faith in God. Muslims are routinely urged throughout the Quran to have faith in Allah's design and to be patient under trying circumstances. From the Stoic point of view, consider the impermanence of existence. Find solace in Islamic prayer and supplication. Both faiths empower people toward inner strength and peace by highlighting what they can control, their responses and attitudes. Healing the separation, ethics and community. Regarding ethics and community, both Islam and Stoicism advocate a life defined by moral integrity and social responsibility. Strictly speaking, living virtuously is acting justly, bravely, and wisely. Islam emphasizes in the same line as fundamental elements of a decent life fairness, compassion, and charity. For example, the Stoic principle of okaiosis stresses the need of acknowledging our interdependence with others and acting in a way that enhances the shared welfare. This concept stresses the need of society and group well-being, therefore reflecting the Islamic belief of ummah. Imagine Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, recognizing his responsibilities as a member of a larger human family in addition to as king. His beliefs on responsibility and leadership tie up with Islamic concepts of social justice and moral treatment of others, overcoming obstacles. A common viewpoint: Islam and Stoicism. Both provide profound insights of how to face difficulties. Stoicism encouraged us to accept what cannot be changed and to see challenges as opportunities for growth. According to the theory, we can find serenity even in the thick of chaos by underlining our responses. On the other hand, Islam maintains that afflictions are tests from Allah and that by means of these trials one can develop their character and spiritual resolve patiently and with confidence. The Quran reads, "Indeed, with hardship comes ease," suggesting that even the most difficult situation is fleeting and accompanied with opportunity for comfort and development. Consider the story of Job, Ayub in the Quran and the Bible, who endured much but was devout. His story is a powerful monument to resiliency and conviction in a bigger cause, much as the Stoic legacy recognizes obstacles as opportunities to demonstrate virtue. The way of personal improvement. Both traditions give the road of personal development significant relevance. For Stoics, this road consists in ongoing self-examination and strives toward living in line with reason. They believe that philosophy has changing power to enable one determine their behavior and character. By means of spiritual development, Islam also encouraged personal progress. Mostly, Islamic practice centers on the concept of tazkiyah, or soul cleaning. Muslims are urged to be always looking for self-betterment in their interaction with Allah as well as in their personal behavior. Imagine the everyday activities of a Muslim who prays and meditates to strengthen their religion versus the daily rituals of a Stoic who evaluates his activities and strives moral excellence. Both roads focus on moral living and personal growth. The part faith and reason played when one compares Stoicism with Islam, one finds among their most remarkable differences their attitude to religion and reason. Strictly speaking, Stoicism greatly emphasizes reason and logic as tools of attaining moral life. Renowned intellectuals like Seneca and Epictetus underline the need of using reason to negotiate the demands of life. Islam gives faith and obedience to Allah's will great weight even if it values reason as well. The Quran challenges Muslims to use their brains and reason to understand the universe. By considering the signals of Allah, still, primary priority is ultimate confidence and reverence of divine wisdom. Consider the harmony in depending on a higher force and depending on reason to understand the universe. Both Muslims and Stoics want to match their rational knowledge with their spiritual convictions in their own particular manner. The depth of Stoic action. To properly grasp Stoicism, picture living in ancient Rome, where Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius was also a practicing Stoic philosopher. His meditations provide a window into the thinking of someone handling the great weight of leadership and striving to follow Stoic principles. He discussed the daily habit he developed, the need of maintaining inner peace among external conflict. Imagine Marcus Aurelius. In his study weighing the daily events, he would consider how to approach problems, using reason and calm instead of impatience or anger. Instead of suppressing emotions, his approach depended on correctly recognizing and regulating them. Based on this daily practice of self-examination and rational control, Stoic life was based on which he negotiated personal difficulty and challenges of leadership. Individual interpretive commentary on Stoicism. Let me give a personal remark here. A few years ago, I went through a challenging career period. Tension and uncertainty pervaded that time, and I resorted to Stoic concepts to find peace. Every day I meditated on what I could and couldn't control, focusing on my responses instead of outside results allowed, envy to handle the turbulence with a clearer brain and a more robust spirit. The riches of Islamic education Now, coming now to Islam, let's examine the profundity of its teachings. Imagine the early 7th century Islamic days in Mecca, when the Prophet Muhammad received revelations defining a different way of life, based on principles of fairness, compassion, and dedication. His teachings underlined a strong feeling of community and personal responsibility. Think about zakat, or charitable giving. This habit is about acknowledging the common responsibility to assist people in need, not merely about money contribution. Targeting reduction of inequity and fostering unity, this practical application of Islamic ideas is individual interpretive view of Islam. When I consider my own interactions with Islamic ideas, I recall a period when I volunteered for a local charity. Especially the concepts of sadaqah, voluntary kindness, and tawakkul, faith in God, spoke to me. Believing in a bigger cause and returning to the society seemed to me to offer a link and gratification beyond the daily grind. Intersection between Stoicism and Islam. Let's look at closer. How Stoicism and Islam connect. Both traditions highlight the significance of moral behavior and personal growth. In Islam, one is living righteously and fulfilling one's obligations to God and society. In Stoicism, this is about matching oneself with reason and virtue. Consider the Stoic habit of journal reflection, whereby individuals would document daily interactions and review their responses. In Islam, too, spiritual development relies heavily on personal introspection and confession and pardon via prayer. Imagine a Stoic Muslim and another going over their daily schedules. While the Stoic would trace his improvement in virtue by means of journaling, the Muslim would talk about how regular prayers and Quran recitations assist him maintain spiritual focus. Though they approach ethical life and self-improvement differently, both of them are working on it. Managing oppression, building the relationship. Once we delve more into how both civilizations handle adversity, let us explore more personal stories. Dealing with challenges for a Stoic often means finding opportunities for personal growth. Living as a slave before rising to be a philosopher. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In Islam, the life of the Prophet Muhammad provides a remarkable model of elegant suffering. Early years of Islam saw him suffer and be tormented, but his aim never wavered. Islamic philosophy honors his persistence and patience in the face of hardship as major virtues. I recall reading about a Muslim family whose faith helped them to be resilient. Even though they experienced great personal loss, their story of consistency on Allah's wisdom linked with the Stoic viewpoint of embracing what cannot be changed and stressing on how to respond with dignity. The road of personal growth, a closer look. There is a wide and varied road for personal growth that Islam and Stoicism follow. Under Stoicism, logical life and virtue development help one to reach eudaimonia, or blossoming. This is a continuous effort for the Stoics in seeking to connect their actions with moral principles and reason. In Islam, tazkiyah, that is, soul purification, is a full process of personal growth. Along with serving others and performing of worship, this covers developing personal traits including humility, integrity, and patience. The emphasis is not just on own improvement but also on positively impacting society. Looking at personal experiences, I have found that both conventions offer wise tools for human development. The Islamic emphasis on spiritual cleansing and ethical behavior, as well as the Stoic habit of daily virtue, contemplating produce a more meaningful and balanced life. Managing reason against belief. Let's now finally investigate in both Islam and Stoicism the concord between reason and religion. Stoicism comes from reason and carries ethics and understanding. Scholars like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca guided their actions and decisions using rational thought. Islam gives faith and obedience to Allah's will enormous weight even if it values reason as well. Though ultimate faith and divine knowledge is quite important, The Quran advises the use of intellect to perceive the world. One of the most valuable teachings of Islam is this equilibrium between leaning on reason and believing. In a greater good, imagine a conversation between Stoic, philosopher, and Muslim researcher. While the Stoic would argue on the need of rational analysis and ethical decision-making, the Muslim could underline the need of religion in guiding one's behavior. Both frames of view offer perceptive observations on our negotiating the complexity of life. As we come to a finish, it is quite clear that although having different foundations, Islam and Stoicism offer comparable guidance on how to pursue a moral and significant life. Their teachings on moral behavior, personal growth, and resilience provide everyone attempting to elegantly and deliberately handle the pressures of life with timeless direction. What therefore may our study of Stoicism and Islam tell us? Though they have different beginnings and systems, these customs have a great synergy in their teachings on morality, resiliency, and the human condition. They offer ageless wisdom on how to handle daily challenges, grow personally, and live consciously, as well as on how to acquire character. It is quite clear, as we near our journey across the connecting paths of Stoicism and Islam, that these ancient and holy teachings offer perceptive analysis, free from cultural and historical restrictions. There is a fundamental truth that ties all civilizations, whether your comfort comes from the Stoic acceptance of fate or from the Islamic embrace of patience and belief in Allah. Said otherwise, thank you for watching. Until next time.